Hello, welcome back to the second time we've taken a break.
How does your audio quality drop as soon as we start recording?
Fuck, man, I don't know, dude. Listen, I'll have a better setup eventually once I have money.
Well, maybe if you spent less time talking about movies and more time earning that money.
Why do you think we split this into three parts? I was working. I
Weak.
haven't had a single day to sit down and be like, okay, I can do it all in one sitting.
God, all I've been doing is sitting down. Quarantine be
You're
like.
lucky. Quarantine.
Lucky, my
Anyway,
family is infected.
that's
Lucky is not the
yeah.
term I would use, you racist.
Thanks.
Everyone
What?
shame
'Cause we're
Cole.
both white. We're both white.
Everyone shame him right now.
Maybe actually more white.
Calling me
Probably.
lucky that my family's not in good health. My
Please give
God.
James best wishes. But
If you
that's not what we're talking about. We're not here to
if
talk
you
about
want to give me
who's in trouble
something,
here.
I accept views. Watch Two Broken Thumbs.
That's enough for you.
Yes, that's all I desire.
Uh, well, they're gonna want to see this episode through because it's gonna be the final movie of the Spider-Man Sam Raimi trilogy,
That's right.
and it is the best one.
Yep, undeniably.
It's the only one that he's ever apologized for,
Yep, because everyone
which I
knows
didn't know about.
you apologize when you make things that are just too good.
I actually didn't know that until Mr. James over here told me. It's hilarious.
Yeah, from what I've heard, just on multiple occasions. Sorry about that one. It's like, oh,
I actually got a video. Toby Maguire talking about Spider-Man 4, 4 days before it was canceled, and
ooh,
he seemed very excited for it, which is very sad.
unfortunate.
Absolutely, I would have loved to see where his fourth movie would go. But we're going to talk about the third movie,
I would have
and the
watched it.
third I would have too. But the third movie, it is basically the complete opposite for how it starts out as the second one. I would say, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, now things are all good.
Things are better than good. They're great. His life's going amazing.
Yeah, dude. He's chilling.
He has people who look up to him, and people are like, "Oh man, he's such a great guy. What a great person, man! Isn't
Yep.
that Spider fellow kooky?"
The newspapers all say, "Yay, Spider-Man!" And
Yeah, J. Jonah
oh,
Jameson's not writing so much bad articles about him. Or maybe he is. We
that's
just don't see him.
well, the ones that getting bought sure aren't. Burn.
Yeah, everyone else is saying nice things about him.
Yep. And
And
he's still dating that girl.
yep, MJ. Oh boy, she
Yay.
plays a role in this movie.
Yay.
um, and I think isn't there? I mean, do you have the script or the plot up or at all? Or
Yeah, I got those things. The plot
okay, cool.
mostly.
Okay, good, good.
He goes to her play, speaks to Harry, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the play is pretty good. He thinks it's great, but everyone else is clearly just like,
Yeah, her voice doesn't carry well, apparently.
yeah, which yeah,
Fair enough.
yeah. When you're in a musician. Also, this is also where the meme of Peter Parker looking down and smiling, and then Harry with his looking Peter in disgust.
Ah, yes, the
That's
meme.
where this fantastic meme comes from.
Hmm.
Huh.
Oh, well, that was worth
Uh,
it. Um,
Sorry, I'm yawning. I don't know why.
I assume you're tired.
I woke up like 3 hours ago.
I assume you're lazy
Yeah, that's the
and
one.
useless.
Well,
Trash.
Now you just okay. Well, you can calm down here a bit.
Could. Pass. So.
Okay.
On the way out, Peter tries to talk to Harry, and he's like, "I didn't kill your
Tries to
father.
befriend them again. Just be like, hey, listen, I know.
I didn't do the thing that you so clearly think I did." And Harry's like, "No, you did."
I was kind of hoping I was watching it where he would just go like, "I know what you did," and then yell out, "Spider-Man!"
Oh yeah, he
and, like,
totally
everyone
calls him
crap.
Spider-Man while there's just
Yeah.
people everywhere. It's real,
It's just a very,
real discreet.
still nobody will like think that's actually Peter, but still, it's really funny. Just like, I know you did, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Goes out for a drink with him. He's like, "Hey, Spider-Man, pass me that bottle of Coke."
Mm-hmm. The worst.
Yeah.
So.
But then he does that, and he ends up just blowing him off, like, "Fuck you."
Yep. Just gets in his car and leaves.
Yeah.
Then Peter and MJ have themselves a little romantic night in the woods in a hammock made of spiderweb, watching the stars, which is lovely, until a meteor crashes very close to them. They don't hear it because they're occupied with macking. Yep.
Also, no one comes by to see that Peter Parker is in a web.
Yeah.
What?
I wonder how long it would take for the webs to just like build up on all the buildings.
Well, the other thing I was going to say was, like, it's the middle of night in New York. Like, there are people going for walks.
Probably.
Jesus.
Plus, Central Park is a little scary from what I've heard.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of hookers and murderers and religious fanatics and gay people.
Wow. Just hitting all the groups, are we?
Listen, if I'm mean to all the groups, then I'm not mean to anyone.
Fair enough. And they just defunded the police over there too, so you already
did they
know
really?
that
Oh,
problem
yeah.
isn't getting solved. Well, I say just. It was
Well, that
probably
gets
like a
solved.
month ago.
Oh, I didn't hear about that. Jesus.
Oh yeah, crime rate's up like 200%. Woo. It worked, boys. We did it. We solved racism.
No, James, don't say that.
So,
they go to Central Park. They have a macking session. A meteorite comes out and grabs his bike, and then they leave.
the symbiote.
We've established so far the symbiote, and we've established Harry Osborn.
That's right. Well, the very next scene is Harry juicing.
Yep.
So
and becoming Baby Goblin.
Yep. Goblin Jr.
So now,
new Goblin.
The buildup of the last two movies is finally here. We have our main villain within the first 10 minutes of this.
Yep, this movie's pacing is unlike the other two's. Yep, it is fast.
It's already here.
One might say too fast.
Only one villain.
Yep, all one of them. That symbiote never brought up again.
Until later.
Yep. So, the Wikipedia article says that their battle ends with a stalemate. That's a fucking lie.
What? Does it really?
Yeah. But the battle ends in a stalemate with Harry crashing down and having amnesia. That doesn't sound...
Put on screen what the stalemate ends with.
That doesn't sound like a stalemate if one of your characters is unconscious with amnesia and the other one is fine.
Fuck off with that.
Alright.
It's like saying you get shot in the leg. You're like, well, that was a close fight. Man, that was pretty close, man. You almost had me.
It just reminds me of when I'm playing League and I get dumpstered and I'm like, it was pretty close. It was a close one. Anyone could have made the mistake of thinking they could have won there. Relax, guys.
So, like from the Holy Grail, he's like, this is merely a flesh wound.
Yeah. Jesus.
We'll call it a draw.
A draw. So
Your draw. But yeah, the fight scene itself, by the way, not great. But there is something I wanted you mentioned that we should bring up during the fight scene.
okay.
You want to talk about the ring?
Oh yeah.
We kind of skipped past Aunt May. Sorry.
Oh
And
yeah.
the Sandman.
I forgot about that scene. Oh yeah.
We kind of skipped.
By the way, we're only like
problems.
15 minutes into the movie, and we apparently missed 5 scenes already.
It's true. It's really unfortunate.
All right. Well, I guess we'll nail these down. After their romantic evening, Peter goes to.
Aunt May.
Yep. And
who lives in a condo now.
Yes, because she moved out of her house. Remember?
Right.
Remember the last
Very nice
movie,
looking.
everyone.
And I also want to point out her hair looks different in this movie, but it looks nice because like it's at night and she just kind of has her hair down.
Yes, it's as if she's a character that sleeps.
Yes.
At night.
Yes. She isn't just like dressed in her casual clothes, going like, "Yes, it is I, me at night."
Yep. That's how she talks
Anyways,
too.
yeah, no. But no, she talks about like the first time that her and Uncle Ben, or when Uncle Ben popped the question.
Yep.
Peter Parker was like, "I want to marry her. I want to make sure she's mine." And she goes like, "Well, that's great. Here's how I did it, and now here's a ring." And now he has a ring from her, which belongs to her, and he's going to give it to Mary Jane.
That's a pretty standard thing, by the way.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying, I'm just saying what happened. Yeah,
just making sure.
It's very sweet.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a very sweet moment.
I like.
Aunt May in all 3 movies is very sweet. She is the best out of all the movies.
Yes.
No, she's but
A
during the fight itself, and during the fight,
no, we still got to meet Sandman.
Oh, sorry, Sandman. Sorry,
right.
Jesus, I already forgot.
So,
I have it written down. I completely forgot.
So enter Sandman now. We got our crook, who Cole legitimately asked me if it was Arnold Schwarzenegger. So everyone make fun of him in the comments.
Like Arnold Schwarzenegger!
He doesn't. Everyone make fun of him in the comments for that.
He looks so similar.
He doesn't. You're wrong.
Patrick, put on screen like the picture of the guy who plays Sandman and Arnold Schwarzenegger. They're very close in facial structure.
They are not.
Very close.
Mm-mm.
I don't know what you're saying. You are insane.
They're both white, muscular men.
With a very, like, Russian-looking face.
Russian-looking face.
Listen, we also had just finished watching Terminator the last time we saw the Spider movie, so I think that's what tricked me. It was like, I saw classic
What is it with all these movies I keep watching with James that involve Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Or next
we're watching Predator.
James, are you trying to tell me something about Arnold Schwarzenegger and you?
Nope. I find him quite charming with his accent that gets in the way of his lines.
Not a good actor, but goddamn.
Yeah. It's the novelty of it all.
Yeah.
So
he's able to play an emotionless robot really well.
So let's see what happens next.
Well, we didn't even talk about Sandman. We just talked about Arnold Schwarzenegger.
So Sandman.
We're talking about why he's a villain.
Be chillin', right? Why he's a villain. This is like the word one-dimensional comes to mind, and it's not totally accurate, but it is very underdeveloped. So he has a daughter.
Says, I need to get money,
and she has the cancer, and you don't fix cancer in this capitalist nation without the monies. And how do you get monies if you don't have a job? And you can't get a job because you're a criminal.
Right. Because you were committed for a crime that you didn't do.
Yes, he did.
No, James.
You idiot.
He didn't do it.
Yes, he did do it.
He accidentally did it.
That's still doing it.
It is. It's just really funny to me. He's like, I didn't do the murder. I didn't do it.
He didn't say that. He said it wasn't
He
like
did
that.
say it.
Which, I mean, it wasn't really like that, but it happened.
Yeah, it did happen. But you probably all on the edge of your seat if that murder might have been. Ooh. But no, there's one line in here that I really dislike because we've seen him running from the cops. We see he's in an orange jumpsuit and we see him changing clothes. And the first thing his wife says to him is, "You're an escaped convict." Yeah,
What?
Yeah.
The first thing she says is, "You can't hide here."
Oh, you can't hide here. But one of the other things she says is, "You're an escaped convict."
Yes.
It's a line that just isn't needed there. Like, yeah, we've established that. We don't fucking
He is?
you tell us that. What? Yes.
Oh my god.
It's already established. Why are you telling us this?
I thought his orange shirt just got dirty, so now he went home to change.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
going for a Halloween con.
You can wear an orange shirt without it being Halloween, you idiot.
He was in a jumpsuit, wasn't he?
Matching pants. He's trying to start something new, alright? Relax.
The pure orange challenge.
Yeah, dude. New style. All the kids are doing it.
All the kids back in 2007.
That's right.
It was the
hey, it would not be the worst style we see in this movie. Let's be real.
That is true. You got me there.
So.
But that line always just pissed me off.
Oh yeah. Fair enough.
But yeah, no. So he changes clothes into like the usual Sandman attire, a green shirt that's striped and khakis, and leaves out the window.
And he says he's not a bad person.
I'm
just had bad luck.
Yeah.
I am not a bad person. Just bad luck. With that predator fellow. So.
Give me the jammy now.
Get to the chopper.
That's a shout out to Vinny right there. Vine Sauce, please come on our podcast.
The Sauce, yes.
Would love to. Joel or Vinny. I'd take both on.
I don't watch your videos, but I know who you are, so.
It's pretty. He's the guy. He's a spin guy.
You like spinning. I hear that's a very good trick.
No, he's the guy who goes spoon.
Oh, spoon.
No, spin. He says spin, but he says it spoon. Spin.
Well, I'm glad I didn't pretend I watch your content, because this would out me really quickly.
It's comedy. It's because someone spins and makes that noise.
It's a good trick.
That's a good trick. Anyway. So now we're all caught up, and now we can talk about the ring.
Right. So Peter's doing his thing. His weapon thing. And then...
Well, he doesn't do his weapon thing. He's just driving his motorcycle, remember?
Oh, yeah. He's doing his motorcycle thing. And then something grabs him from the sky. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
His usual tires. Which are attached.
A tire, I said.
Which are attached to the motorcycle.
Dan got me there. Also, cool thing is that if you go, not frame by frame, but if you pay attention, you can see his reaction as he realizes that something's approaching him. And that's it's I know it's nothing important, but I like the detail because he has spider sense, so he's able to see it coming.
I would like to think
react to it in time.
That he was getting ready for whatever was about to happen on set, and that made him nervous. But then Sam Raimi was like, "You're reacting to the thing prematurely, but it's actually okay because you have spider senses, and we can get away with this."
It was an accident, and Sam Raimi was like,
Actually, we'll keep it. I like it.
I love that's like when you're preparing for someone to slap your back, you're just like, nope, I'm prepared.
Right, and like your face gets all scrunched up, and you're like, "Oh, here we go."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So we get to have our
go ahead and talk about the ring.
We get to have a fight scene between New Goblin and the Spooder Man. They exchange a little bit of dialogue. Peter kind of tries to explain himself. Harry's not having it. And the thing about the ring, the nice thing about this fight scene is we're 15 minutes into a movie, so odds are our main character's probably not gonna die. So, but they have
Hopefully.
this ring falls out of his pocket at some point, and he spends the majority of the fight scene trying to, catch it and hang on to it. So it adds a little
Yeah.
bit of extra tension because the stakes are pretty low as it stands, but if we include this ring, then can up the stakes a bit.
We've
Something
been introduced to this ring. We were told how important it is, and now it is in danger, and now we care about this ring.
exactly, and it is something
And it's
that
done very
could
well.
reasonably get destroyed in this fight, whereas
Absolutely.
Peter will most likely not.
Well, not only destroyed, but also just lost, and then you have just loss of family heirloom.
Oh,
Both are still bad though.
yeah, destroyed effectively, and potato, potato.
But yeah, no. So this is when then the fight scene comes to a stalemate, and
Apparently,
and Harry becomes knocked unconscious.
yep.
Here is where the movie's just like, oh, congratulations, your best friend now has amnesia.
Yep. Pretty overused plot device at this point, I'd say.
Even back then, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and not a great one at that.
Yeah, it's short-term memory, which conveniently means he forgot everything that happened in the last 2 minutes.
Right, and he will only remember once the plot requires him to.
Which, by the way, if this movie takes place, so if Spider-Man 2 takes place 2 years later, as you said it did in the first movie,
Uh-huh.
and this one also takes place. It doesn't say, but I would assume it'd say 2 years later.
Wikipedia says it's only a few months later.
So yeah,
Months
let's see how
after Doc
long
Ock
short-term
met his
memory.
demise.
Let's see. How much time do you lose?
Oh, I think it's case by case.
Oh, is it really?
I wouldn't spend too much time on worrying about that.
I'm so curious. This is something I'm gonna look up.
Oh, sure, go ahead and look it up. But
I'm not saying like
I think for the most
yeah.
part, it's really case by case, and
Wow.
yeah.
Oh, okay. When a person experiences short-term memory loss, he or she can remember incidents from 20 years ago, but is fuzzy on the details of things that happened 20 minutes prior. There are a number of causes of short-term memory loss.
Well, short-term
Some
memory
most
loss and
result.
amnesia are different.
Oh, that's right. Well,
Because,
no,
like,
because he says no. He says he has short-term memory loss, amnesia. I remember because he says that.
well, he says he's
said,
lost some short-term memory, but short-term memory loss is like Dory from Finding Nemo.
oh, that's right. Okay, yeah.
That's a condition, whereas this memory loss is more like a symptom.
Yeah.
If you pick up what I'm throwing down, from what I understand.
I am.
I'm just a kid.
We aren't science. We aren't Peter Parkers here, so we're not very well versed in science. But
I don't know the medical sciences as well.
I don't either. But point still stands. It's a little overused, but
yeah, it's just you're gonna hear it in the movie, and then you're gonna roll your eyes a little bit, like, yes, here we go.
that's convenient. And now he's acting like teenager Harry.
Oh yeah, he's all smiley, all happy.
Yeah, he's all goofy. Yeah,
yeah,
which
true.
he never was that I remember. He wasn't ever like that, but yeah, he's basically just goofy now. It's really stupid.
I like happy James Franco.
No, I do too. He's very fun to watch whenever we do get to see him. Because after this happens,
before he becomes
come back to the
Edgelord
Sandman.
Again. Ah, yes. Enter Sandman again.
Now we're back to Sandman.
I'm gonna make that joke
running
a few times.
It's a good joke.
No, it's not. Anyway.
Nope, shut up. Be proud of your humor.
So we get a little bit of foreshadowing. I say foreshadowing, but that's being really generous to the scene. where a police officer comes over to the captain and he's like,
Oh,
shows him
that's
a
right.
picture of Sandman, and he's like, the guy we
Right.
tied to the Ben Parker case. He's on the run, but we think we got him. And it cuts over to well, him on the run while the police think they've
It's
got
an
him.
absolutely useless scene because what it does just goes like he's just even the officer's just like, okay, why are you telling me this information? What and or
Well,
the captain, the
I
chief captain is like,
I
yeah,
think
go.
it's setting up for I think because we're supposed to hear that and be like, the Ben Parker case, what?
Yeah, but now it loses impact later on because now we're just like, oh, he's attached to the Ben Barker. Was he attached? I
Does
feel
that
like it
make
would
it
have been
lose
better if we
impact? I
learned
feel
more.
like then
I
you're
feel like it would have been
wondering
better if,
about it.
well, now we as the audience know more information than Peter, and then when Peter realizes this information, like,
Yeah,
yeah,
but we
we
don't
know
know
this. Now
anything
Peter's
about it. We just know he's tied somehow. It could mean
like,
anything.
okay, sure.
I
Maybe
mean,
it's just weirdly tied.
I don't think it's necessary. I don't
No,
think
it's not a necessary scene.
I don't think the movie's particularly made better by it, but
It's for all those people who don't want to pay attention to scenes and just want to hear.
right.
Yeah. So
So let's see. This is
he's
when,
running.
yep, he's running away, and
He climbs a barbed wire fence and doesn't get injured.
yeah, he just parkours right over it without an
Yeah,
issue.
it's like they don't show him jumping over the barbed wire. We just see him going
We
up
just see him
the
like climbing the bottom of the fence, and then we see the top of his
yeah,
barbed wire. It's
and then we
odd.
see him on the other side, not
Yep.
cut up at all. Like you don't need to show blood, but at least show his shirt ripped a little.
Or like maybe he's really talented and can get over barbed wire efficiently, but that'd be interesting to see.
That's a real superpower he has.
Sand
Before
also.
Sandman,
He's probably really
he
mad
can
when he became sand because he's like, man, my one like good skill is now useless because the sand will just take care of it.
I can just go. What if he purposely makes sure that whenever he sees a bar fence, like I'm not gonna go through it. I have this talent. I'm not gonna waste it.
Right.
That's the only time he turns soft.
It's
He's
like
like,
the
I'm gonna do
Salem
this
witch
shit.
trials where they're trying to figure out who is the Sandman, and the trial happens to be climb this barbed wire fence, and he's like, "Oh yes, I don't need to become sand for this."
You fools! You played right into my hand, my
Exactly,
sand hand.
my
And then he says
sand
that, and he goes,
hands.
"Shit!" He goes, "Shit! I said it."
Now everyone
Uh,
knows they ain't just sandstorms out.
that is true. But anyway, so yeah, he goes. Speaking of sand, he falls into a sand pit
Right.
of like a machine that's just kind of has a bunch
Uh,
of sand in it,
There's like a ceiling
and
fan
like,
above.
yeah,
And then
it's really weird.
we cut to some scientists in their lab, and they're like, "Huh, the silicon
Um,
levels inside the testing arena have changed." And then their boss is like, "It's probably just a bird. It'll fly away once we start up the machine." And I'm just kind of thinking to myself, I don't know where these guys are, but do they know the police are nearby? Like,
well, I think they're underground, but my thing is that how are there any birds? Like, we haven't seen a single tree anywhere. Like, I'm not saying birds wouldn't be around, but it feels like a weird spot for a bird to just randomly land.
yeah, and I know it's just a
And
throwaway
also, there's
line,
no
but
way for a bird to like actually get out once the machine starts.
well, it starts slow.
That is true.
But I know it's just a throwaway line, but what's the
Yeah.
difference in silicon between a human and a bird?
What the fuck even is silicon?
I, you know what? Yeah, what is that?
I've heard
Silicon,
of silicone.
Shut up. You're gay. You could say it either way. I'm trying to think of something else you
What?
could say either way. What? Silicon, silicone,
Well, that's
silicene?
what I'm saying. I know what silicone is.
Well,
Silicone spelled differently.
I think it's a pronunciation
That's
thing.
Nope, silicones is it.
Like the difference between color and color.
No, silicone is a polymer made up of siloxane. They're typically a colorless oils or rubber-like substance.
Oh, birds produce silicon. Oh wait, are they
Silicon is
separate
a
things?
chemical element. Yeah, silicon is a chemical element with the symbol Si and atomic number 14. How do you not know this? Your mom is you're supposed to memorize a periodic table, I thought.
Yeah, but I didn't. Why would I do that?
And I didn't. You had a T-shirt of it. It's on your T-shirts.
I don't have a T-shirt of that.
I thought you had a T-shirt of a periodic table of elements.
My mom does.
Oh, that's right. Okay, but how is it? Okay, we know what silicon is now, but silicon. But what does that mean? What's the line?
A change in the silicon levels or silicone. I don't know. I'm not sure now.
Silicone. It's silicon. Silicone is used to make butt plugs. Silicon is a type of element.
You seem to know a lot about butt plugs.
Yeah, crazy.
You've been plugging and chugging a lot?
Oh, silicon levels in blood. Oh, in humans, red blood cell and plasma silica levels are relatively low, ranging to 44. What the fuck? Upside down HG?
An upside down H? Is it a capital H or a lowercase h?
It's neither.
No, the H that's upside down. Would it be capital or lowercase? Because if it's capital, it's just right side up. Oh.
It's lowercase. Here, hold on. I'm saying. Yeah, figure that one out.
God, hopefully someone heard that and liked it. Oh, that's a unit.
What is that?
It's
Oh, it's a unit?
Not exactly. It's like like centimeter and millimeter and nanometer. It's one of those. I think it's
Oh.
I think it's 10 to the negative 6. So 0.0000000.
Oh,
01. Yeah.
Okay. But
I think it's one of those.
So that's how much is in a human. I guess.
Very little.
But then what about in birds?
I don't know.
Like, what is happening?
Well,
what does this line mean?
I would say we've got.
What does that have to do with sand?
I'd say we've got bigger fish to fry. That is a good question though. What are they doing with the sand? What's our experiment here?
Oh, it is. Most of the world's sand grains are composed of quartz, which is a form of silicon dioxide, also known as silica.
All right. Well, you know what? I gave Sam Raimi too much crap. This movie's great.
Well, no, sand has silicon in it, and then the line is that there's disturbance, or not disturbance. Wait, what was it?
There's a disturbance.
I feel disturbance in the silicon.
I sense in the silicon something has changed.
Anger. I sense anger. I sense hatred.
The sand is angry. It is angry sand. And then like Darude Sandstorm starts playing in the background. Yes. For anyone who forgot what song that is, you might remember now.
But anyways, it's just a very weird scene for Sandman to get his powers. Like it just kind of happens.
Yep. And then the police
I look into it, the more I'm confused by it.
And then the police show up and look in the sand pit after the experiment has happened and our boy has been dematerialized into sand. And they realize nobody's there.
Know that yet, James?
Yes, we do. We see him getting torn up.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
It shows like his blood cells becoming part of the sand, and
his DNA is all sandy.
Yeah, because that's how that.
Hey, you don't know? Have you ever been in a sand vortex before? Yeah.
Why are they
idiot?
Vortex?
Because they're learning.
What's the point of the thing?
The scientists are learning
Did
about the
that sand can like
atmospheric
be
impressions
a
on
tornado?
sand.
Cool.
I wouldn't describe it as a tornado.
It was lifting up the sand.
Oh, well, tornadoes are the only things that lift stuff.
With
Idiot.
wind. Anyway.
What's it like waking up in the morning and looking at yourself in the mirror?
I don't. That's how I get through the day.
Oh, heard. All right.
I just never look at myself. Like if I look at myself, I'll cry.
Everything gets worse when I look at myself.
That's why I broke the mirror in our my trailer.
Yeah, that's like 7 years of bad luck or something.
Nope.
Just more on the pile, right?
Exactly. Come at me, world.
Maybe you're the reason why everything terrible is happening to this world.
So about that, we're gonna go on a little bit of a tangent.
Us?
I know the first line I
Tangent.
said. I am. Do you know what the first thing I said? Beginning of the year was like the
Yes.
first line as soon as the ball dropped.
Yes.
Well, they don't know, so I'm gonna say it.
Who?
What?
What?
They don't know. They don't know. The audience.
Ah, yes. Audience. Do you know what Cole said?
I said this year's gonna fucking suck. Uh-oh.
We didn't know Cole was a prophet.
I didn't know either. I could have made this year better.
It truly is your fault. I bet you said something terrible the day Harambe died too.
I said I wish Gorla would just die. I was playing Smash Brothers and the damn monkey kept getting in my way.
You let your anger control you. You're like PewDiePie.
I'm like PewDiePie with none of the money.
I was gonna say, but no girlfriend, subscribers,
or anything.
Yep.
I'm homeless PewDiePie.
Homeless PewDiePie. Who still lives in a home. Hey, at least you didn't get robbed, you know?
Not yet. Just you wait.
So another tangent for you.
Yeah.
For work, we screwed up an Uber order, so I had to deliver some food to a house. Yeah, myself. And it's like Florida has this thing where most of it looks kind of trashy, and then you'll turn one corner and all of a sudden you're in this beautiful neighborhood. So this is what happened. I turn in, it's just this gorgeous neighborhood, big, beautiful houses. They all have driveways that are like half circles, so you can like drive in and then park your car, and then you don't have to reverse when you want to leave, you know? High quality stuff, right? And like they've all got swimming pools, like just the full 10, the full 9 yards, you know? Just everything that I strive to be one day. And I get there and like I park in this guy's driveway and I don't even lock my car door. I'm like, no one wants my car. No one is stealing anything out of my car. No one's getting close to my car in this neighborhood. I'm just gonna leave it. That's my story.
Oh.
That's how confident I was.
I thought you were going to end it with you saying, and then they stole my car.
No one would do that.
That definitely felt like a build up to someone breaking into your car and stealing something.
Nope. Like there was garbage in the road that was more valuable than my car.
Good tangent. Good tangent. Solid tangent. I rate that 3 Diet Cokes.
Yikes.
No, that's good. That's good. Diet Coke's really good.
It's not, but yikes.
Well, anyways, back to the movie.
Everyone in the comments section, tell us what your favorite pop is. Or soda if you're, you know, a faggot. Anyway.
We can talk about MJ, James.
Oh, do we? Oh, this is when.
Yeah, remember?
This is when she comes to the apartment and she's like, yo, they hated me. And Peter's like, yeah, didn't you see the last 2 movies? I mean, Peter's like, yo, come on. They can't hate you. And then she reads a review and sure enough, they are not pleased with her.
Mm-hmm.
And Peter kind of.
And then.
Oh, go ahead. This one's all
I
you.
was gonna say, and then she says the line, or Peter says like, "They're critics. They don't know anything." I'm just like, "God damn it, no!"
Oh, he right though.
Yeah, it's true. We don't know anything.
Not a thing. Are we critics? We're critical of stuff, so I guess so.
I think. Well, I like to say I don't like the word critic because it has such negative connotations to it.
Yeah, I also don't like things that I am that have negative connotation, like white.
Well, I would say more or less that yes, we are critics because reviewers is too long of a word.
That's your
But I like
reasoning
to
for
give
being
things.
something.
I don't.
Because the
Reviewers
other
sound
word is
terrible.
too long. I'm Caucasian. I'm white because Caucasian was too long.
It's true. You just said it too.
I hate you.
uh, no, we are critics.
I think so. I think under the definition of the word critic, we can apply.
Absolutely. But anyway, she says they don't like it. She's like, yeah, people are not gonna like you. You have to deal with it. Spider-Man deals with that stuff all the time. And like, this is the main problem that Peter has throughout this movie. Like as a character, not like the problem with the film. Like, there's other problems with it. The thing about Peter is that he has gotten to a point now where like the Spider-Man persona has basically taken his life over, and he's very egotistical about it. And he's just like, "Yeah, Spider-Man deals with it. You can deal with it. You can do it. Anyone can do it." But what he doesn't realize is that MJ isn't Spider-Man. Basically, MJ has to deal with her own problems. And while they're both absolute shit at communication, as you'll see through this movie, um, this is kind of a cool, not cool concept, but a concept that makes sense for Peter's character.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, you agree? Yeah, he's very when he's given this kind of power, he's just like, oh yeah, no, I'm awesome. Even though he's still that like nerdy, dorky kid, he's doesn't exactly do well when it comes to social environments, but still, it's a very good scene.
Yeah, I think overall it's
Well,
pretty
not
good.
scene, but character. Yeah,
I'd say the scene's pretty solid.
and it's because then as soon as it's over, he hears something on the radio or on the police radio, and his response is, "Oh, gotta go. Go get him, Tiger." You know, trying to kind of cheer her up because that's what she said to him at the end of the second movie.
Yeah.
I think, right? She says at one point.
She says that at least one point.
But he's
yeah.
throwing it back at her, being like, "Yeah, you can do it."
Yeah, and it kind of screams the idea of like she says it when she's like, "This isn't about you. This is about me," and
yeah,
it's like fair enough. I have a thing with my. See, I'm a very I like to think of myself as like a problem solver. So I have a thing with when I have friends who are girls or girlfriends, where I'm like, "Hey, if there's if you if you've got an issue, right? Like there like some kind of problem in your life, you need to communicate very
mm-hmm.
early if this is something you want advice on how to solve or if it's just something you want to vent about because I will
Oh,
immediately
absolutely.
try to solve the problem or like help you solve the problem. But if you just want to vent, let me know and I'm happy to absorb the venting."
Yeah, it's always important because people will tell you something, and then you're like, "All right, well, this is what you gotta do." It's like, "What do you? I don't want your help. I just need someone to talk to." And you
Yeah.
know that kind of pisses me off. I'm not gonna lie. Like, if you're gonna vent about the problem, try to solve the goddamn problem. Don't just complain about it. I'll listen to you complain, but like, for God's sake, don't just keep coming back to me with the same problem.
Yeah, I always say I only really try to help people who want to help themselves. So
Yeah.
yeah,
If you're gonna just like sit around in your own shit and just cry, then I'm not gonna fucking help you.
yeah, not worth. It's just too stressful
Absolutely.
on me.
Too much toxicity in my life.
I don't have those resources to expend.
Um, I'm gonna shout out a channel I like. Jaden Animation did a whole video about that whole idea. Um, about you know making sure that if you do care for people, not to just be the only one who cares for those people, and if those people are very toxic, it sometimes is best just to leave them.
Yep. Which can
It's a
be
very good
difficult.
video. I'd give it a watch. Yeah,
But
it is difficult to do.
I remember one of Danielle's friends was always all, uh, you know,
All
like not depressed, but well, like acting depressed,
all bark
and
and no bite.
just a lot of oh, everything's so hard, so rough,
Yeah,
and I was like, we're both trying to help her, and after a while, Danielle's
yeah.
like, yeah, she doesn't want to help herself, and I'm like, yeah, that happens.
I know for a while I was like that, where I just followed in my own pity. I'm just like, but this isn't doing anything.
Not very rarely does it seem to help.
Yeah, because you think to yourself it'll all go away, but then it never does. So
Well, I think certain things take time to improve.
absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah. But yeah, I don't nothing wrong with venting, but you probably shouldn't be venting about the same thing to the same person more than once. Because after you
Yes.
get some venting
Unless
out,
like
it's time to go work for a solution.
yeah. Unless like of course the solution you have doesn't work, and then you can vent about that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I don't really want to
But what we're
assign
trying to say is
rules
with
to
wait,
venting, but yeah,
yeah.
talk to each other.
Which is something these two characters don't do in the movie.
Not well at all. It's I think the concept can work very well, but it's very poorly executed in 2 or 3 spots. But we'll get to those.
We sure will. And as a matter of fact, we're not going to get to one of those spots right now. I think we're going to.
Next
Oh
is the
shit.
crane,
Oh right, with
right?
Gwen. Right? Is it Gwen?
Yeah.
Gwen Stacy, who was supposed to be Spider Woman or Spider Girl. Is that her name?
Um,
What the fuck is female Spider Man called?
I don't know, Spider Girl.
The girl.
But I'm not totally sure that's right. I'm trying to think. Because in Spider Verse, Gwen Stacy is a female Spider Man, but I'm pretty sure in the comics, Gwen Stacy was the love interest.
Spider Man has a lot of.
Well, yeah, because there's um the girl from Homecoming. She's a character in the comics too, and then also Gwen and
M.
Mary Jane.
The girl from Homecoming is MJ.
No,
Yeah,
no, MJ's in
at
Homecoming,
the end
but
of the.
the love interest is someone else.
Oh, the love interest of.
Yeah,
I thought you were talking about MJ. Yeah, sorry about that.
yeah, no. She's a character in the
Talking about
comics too. I
Homecoming.
don't know. I'm not well versed in the comics.
Yeah, that's something we probably should have mentioned. We aren't very well versed in the comics. Um,
With that said,
but we
I don't
are.
think you should have to read a
Yeah,
comics source material to understand the movie,
absolutely.
which is why I like the Marvel movies so much.
Yeah.
But anywho, so we have an out of control crane on the roof of a building, and it is tearing this other building up, right? And so this is kind of funny. The police chief is there. Captain Stacy happens to be Gwen's father, and the first
Mhm.
reporter on scene is um, 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 Brock,
Eddie
right?
Brock.
Eddie
Yeah.
Brock, yeah, that's it. And who happens to be dating Gwen, and then Gwen is there, and she's also in Peter's class. So it's funny because like, and then Sandman shows up at the end. So like 5 major characters in this movie all happen to be at the same place at the same time.
Yeah, and there's also this throwaway line. Like the only time we ever get to see Gwen Stacy's dad is this scene, and also this scene is here to establish that Eddie Brock is dating Gwen Stacy, and he informs the dad, "Oh, by the way, I'm dating your daughter."
Yeah,
and
It's
that's the scene. I mean, there's still the action scene, but like that's the interaction we get from these characters. Her
yeah,
dad's there, her dad's introduced, and then, oh, by the way, I'm dating your daughter.
yeah. It's kind of hmm. I don't really have a word for it. I'd say a bit contrived. I don't think it's so much as an issue, but
It's just weird.
it's
It's
funny
just
looking
weirdly
back
delivered.
on. It's like, oh, a whole bunch of our major characters were just here all at once. All right, I guess so. But anyway,
Yeah.
um, you know, Sam Raimi's Screaming Girl MP4. Spider-Man comes in, saves her in time. Um,
Fuck. Sorry, I read something.
what'd you read?
It made me give me a little bit of a chuckle. Instead of doing something about the bad things, why not simply be against the things?
Why not what?
Instead of doing something about the bad things, why not simply be against things?
You cut out at the same point both times.
God damn it!
Why not, instead of being against
It
bad
it's
things,
why not simply be against bad things?
say it one more time? Maybe I'm retarded.
Oh my god! Instead of doing something about the bad things, why not simply be against bad
Is
things?
this in reference to people saying I'm against racism?
No, it's just a tweet I saw.
Well, what's it in reference to?
No, that's the tweet. It's a reference to nothing. That's it.
Surely it's in
Like
reference of
that's
something.
no, that's it. That's the tweet. It's supposed to be like I think it's supposed to be like a sarcastic tweet being like, oh, and just be against the bad things. Don't actually do anything about it.
Oh no.
What?
Patrick
What
Patrick,
happened?
put this
What's
on
happening?
screen.
Oh no! Oh no! Patrick, don't put that on the screen.
Patrick, put this on screen. It's good.
Patrick, please. Fuck, we're talking about a movie.
Oh yeah, we are gonna.
uh,
Oh, it's a gif of
I
Cole.
think actually this, I think this movie is the best way to describe. Um, the best. This review is the best way to describe this movie, where it's just all over the place.
Yeah, except for we haven't introduced enough villains yet. That's the only difference.
Yeah, not yet. We're got to introduce one. Eddie Brock.
Oh yeah. He's uh I like the
Wait,
idea
you
of a
said Sandman?
foil to Peter, but I think it's poorly executed.
Yeah, we don't get to see enough Eddie Brock. Like he's here in this scene, and then we don't see him for like another like we don't see him for a while.
I think all three villains could be very good villains, but none of them really get well fleshed out.
Absolutely.
But anywho,
Let's see.
um,
So the crane happens, and then you said after the crane, you said that then Sandman appears.
yeah, he like sandstorms by, and when that happens,
He does.
that's
Isn't that during the festival?
I think it happens twice,
But
right? But maybe I'm confused.
yeah, because he goes in the truck. No, that's during the festival. No, the crane is just freaking out, and then Peter Parker saves Gwen Stacy, and then one point out real quick: none of this is in the Wikipedia because none of it's actually important.
I was gonna say, yeah, the Wikipedia is not specific. It goes
And
straight from Sandman being able to transform into sand to the festival.
yeah, it's like everything in between is not important, which is true.
Oh, fair enough. There's a nice
um,
line after Spider-Man and Sandman's first conflict, where Spider-Man is like he like lands on top of a building, takes off
Oh,
his
that's
mask
right.
and his boots, and he's like shaking sand out of them. And he's like, God, where did these guys come from?
Um,
Which I
I
can
want to
appreciate.
say,
As a hero, you would definitely be thinking those things.
yeah, I want to say it's after the festival though,
No.
because Sandman gets into the machine with all the sand, then punches a dude, tries to rob a bank, and then Spider-Man stops. Then he tries to get to an armored vehicle later on.
Screw it. I'm opening it.
Right?
No, because we see him walking down the street, and then the two police contest him, and that's when he sneaks into the truck conveniently located there full of sand. And
Yeah.
then I don't remember when Spider-Man shows up, because, he like pops up and starts tossing uh I almost said stormtroopers, police officers around.
True. I mean, they're
All
basically the
right,
same thing.
Amnesia,
They both serve the
Sandman,
same.
Crane, save Crane. Okay, we go straight from Crane to uh in you know Crane. Spider-Man meets Eddie, and then we get our J. Jonah Jameson uh scene.
Which James, you want to talk about J. Jonah? I know you don't like.
Uh, they try to calm him down a bit in this movie, which is a bit frustrating. But this scene is pretty entertaining, with his assistant being practically useless because she just buzzes him and it shakes his whole desk. So he's clearly irritated the whole time. He's trying to keep calm and keep that blood pressure low. And watching him
Yeah,
struggle to contain himself is quite entertaining. Uh,
he does blow out a little bit, but it's very like brief and not like super powerful.
right. We get to see the assistant girl sexily licking an envelope to seal it. This scene alone makes the movie worth it. Um, hmm. Eddie shows
This is when
up.
Eddie Brock reappears. Yeah, Eddie Brock
Yeah.
appears and asks for. Yeah, you get to see that Eddie Brock's. I wouldn't say horny, but like definitely on good. Like is on to her.
A bit flirty.
Flirty, yeah,
Yeah.
but like in a creepy way.
He sneaks into the room after
Mhm.
J. Jonah Jameson. Then we get the conflict between Peter and Eddie. They're both
Yeah,
like showing their pictures, and Jameson buys Eddie's. There's mention of the staff job, which is a bit of a motivation.
mhm.
And that's when we get the objective. Whoever brings J. Jonah Jameson a picture of the Spider-Man doing bad gets a staff job.
Yeah. Because remember, J. Jonah.
Right? He's got his agenda. We get a cameo with Stanley, a very good one.
But which one is it? Oh, that's right, the one where he says one person
I guess one man can make a difference.
came. Very sweet.
Yep. Peter and Harry at Harry's penthouse.
Estate
Yep.
have a moment together that kind of just happens.
I'd say it's all pretty good.
Yeah,
Um,
we want to play basketball so we can get the girls, and he's like, yeah, cheerleaders.
yeah. Hey, that's totally high school motivation levels of plot. I like it.
Absolutely.
Um, oh, that's when he throws the basketball and it knocks over a vase, and Harry catches the basketball and a vase, and that's kind of a moment of, oh, he's still affected by the drug. I assume is what they're
Well,
getting
yeah,
at. Yeah,
I assumed so too. It's very strange. It's just like,
it's
yeah, he has superpowers. Yes,
it's
and
well, it's I don't find what he did like insanely impressive, because he does it and then he's
no.
like, "Whoa, did you see that?" But I think that's
He's
the
still very
goal.
goofy about it, but
Yeah. it fits. Well,
Absolutely.
I don't know. It doesn't fit his character great, but I guess once you take out the stress of his dad not being very emotionally supportive and the hatred for Spider-Man, yeah, you could probably approach something close to this.
Especially with how I keep getting like Batman vibes from him with his butler.
his
butler is always
his Alfred is there to help him fight crime.
Yeah. Well, it's just funny because every time the butler knows about all this information, but he doesn't tell. Like, it's really weird to me.
Yeah.
The butler's just like, oh, he has amnesia. All right, whatever. I don't care.
I guess. Oh well. He doesn't need no bad dad either.
He does though. Remember, because I was cleaning out your father. Oh, that's later in the movie.
That's like 2 hours later. All right.
But he's still.
Yep. It's kind of strange that he waits until this moment of time to tell him. But we'll get there. Next scene is Mary Jane getting fired.
Yep.
Critics didn't like her. The showrunners are taking her off. Then she's like leaving the building, and like a bunch of people start cheering, and she's like, "Ah, oh, yay, they're cheering for me!" But then she realizes Spider-Man's flying past, and very much, very quick scene, but pretty obvious what its goal is. Mary Jane has lost the and in the background, someone is covering up her name on the poster.
Yeah.
And it's very much like, okay, she's now lost the fame, the image that she wanted. Meanwhile, Peter is getting it, and he's getting it times 10, essentially. And then the next scene is a parade or a festival in honor of Spider-Man.
And it's very happy, and he's happy. He says they love me.
Yep, Peter's there. He's all happy. Mary Jane shows up. He talks to her. This is important. Oh, now we get our scene with Sandman.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he climbs into the sand truck. Yep, this explains it a lot better. Make a Sandman, flies away. Then we cut back to festival. Gwen's giving a speech. Harry shows up. Spider-Man shows up. Puts on a little show. Gives Gwen and Spider-Man share the famous, iconic upside down kiss. Which
yeah.
Peter, why did you do that? It's pretty much the best reaction I can give when you know your girlfriend is like in the audience and you know that's like a very special moment that you share with her.
I was also going to point out that this is one of those moments where if in a normal relationship you'd be like, hey, I'm aware that we are dating, but the general public doesn't know that I'm dating.
Yeah.
You would discuss it with your partner.
Should the opportunity arise as a PR move, could I commit to an action like this?
Well, the other thing I was also going to say was that the funny thing is, like, everyone else is like, yeah, let's do it. But then, like, the pure innocent child's like, no, Spider-Man, no!
Yeah. And that child is right. This is not a move that should be being made here. It's just so odd because he just finished talking to her.
Yeah. Well, it's not odd because, as you know, this movie is supposed to show how egotistical and how overconfident Peter has become.
Right, not odd, but a very poor move.
Yeah, very poor move on his part, but it's not bad for the film.
Yeah, it fits. I'd say maybe a little over the top, but it fits. Let's see. And then Sandman shows up. Sandstorms by.
Yeah.
The extras are hilarious in this scene too. I never realized.
Yeah, Patrick put on screen the extras. The extras are like looking away from. Oh yeah. The extras are looking away from. Gwen is giving her speech. They're looking in the opposite direction.
Yep.
And we couldn't figure out why. But no, this is the fight scene with Sandman where he's trying to take the truck and he fills the truck full of sand.
Right. And
He like tries.
yeah, Spider-Man chases him down after the
I
parade.
don't. I don't remember if Spider-Man. No, Spider-Man doesn't know about him being his killer yet.
No, not yet.
Yeah. Oh. But yeah, Spider-Man's just like he's like beating him up, bada boom, and then gets the people who are in the vehicle out, and then Sandman gets them. Is that right?
You cut out. What?
I think doesn't Sandman get the money in this scene?
I don't think he succeeds.
Oh, he does not succeed. Okay.
No. And that obviously is going to build some resentment towards Spider-Man. Spider-Man is directly
Right.
preventing him from saving his daughter. Everything
His daughter.
he does is for this one motivation.
Yeah.
Which
We
it's
didn't talk about.
Go ahead.
We didn't talk about the sand transformation scene, did we?
No, it's quite beautiful.
Yep, it's very beautiful. Okay, cool. Next.
All right, next. I'm just making sure I nailed everything.
Yeah, no. Marco robs an armored truck, subduing Peter while escaping. Wait,
I don't say subduing.
he isn't.
But
Well, that's what the
he
Wikipedia says.
yeah. Well, he escapes. The truck gets ruined, but Peter saves the two drivers, and Marco doesn't leave with the money, so I have to assume he didn't get it.
Yeah.
All right. Next scene is Mary Jane walking down the street, seeing newspapers. God, newspaper is used a lot in these movies. I didn't realize until just now. Sees
I mean,
newspapers
that's
of
how media was consumed back in the day.
in 2007, I guess.
Yeah. If you
Uh,
really think about it, technology, or at least our technology, has only been around for a short while.
oh yeah, smartphones didn't come around until like I want to say 2010.
Yeah.
Yep. But
Absolutely.
anywho, um,
Yeah.
yeah, sees newspaper of Spider-Man kissing Gwen, and she's like visually frustrated. Then we get our scene with our with your favorite character.
It is. It's my favorite character. I don't know his name, but my God, do I love him.
He is the French man
He is the French. I am French.
from the French restaurant. I am French. He whistles for someone to bring him a pen.
Not like it's not like he whistles.
Oh
He
no, he
has a
doesn't whistle. He pulls a whistle from his lanyard and blows into it, and then someone shows up with a pen.
Yes.
On a tray. The pen is
Yep.
on top of napkins.
It's really funny.
Yep. But we get a nice bit of dialogue. Peter's planning to propose, and he wants the musicians to play a song, which you'll recognize as the song from her play. Peter, while in the restaurant before Mary Jane gets there, does like a little bit of rehearsing of how he's going to speak tonight.
Yeah, and he's obviously very excited and unaware of how shitty, how just absolute garbage Mary Jane is feeling.
Yep. And yep, so then she arrives, and she's clearly not feeling great, but Peter doesn't seem to be picking up on it. Okay, this is the first big moment of the miscommunication being extremely detrimental. Peter still doesn't
This one.
Peter still doesn't know that she got fired from the play, and she's talking about like how she's feeling very vaguely, and Peter
Like
is
overly vague.
right, insanely vaguely, and Peter's just kind of explaining, no, I get it, you know, it's it's tough, when everyone's eyes are on you and all the kids are yelling Spider-Man, Spider-Man. It's a big, big thing. And she's just kind of
Yeah,
giving him dirty looks without explaining anything because there's no way that he knows that she got fired from the play at this point. So and she should know this. So it's disappointing, I would say, that
yeah.
she
He
can't.
doesn't know, but she acts like he knows.
Yeah, and it's not something that she just says because she gets in plenty of
Right.
words during this conversation. Let's see. Then we
And
see
then
Gwen.
what's her face appears.
Yeah,
Like Gwen appears.
because she's there with her parents, she says. And
Yeah.
yeah, she comes over and stands by him, and it's like kind of a whole thing because she's got like her hand on his shoulder and she's real pretty and everything. And that's when we learn that they have a class together and they're lab partners.
Yeah, which is the first time she's informed of this.
Yeah, the first time Mary Jane learns about this. And yeah, this is when Mary Jane kind of loses it a bit, which I'd say rightfully so, because she's like, "How come you've never mentioned this girl who you
Spend so much time with.
right, like it could be
You clearly have a
interpreted
lot to know about her.
in a certain
Yeah,
way." Yeah, and I don't think I wouldn't necessarily fault Mary Jane for feeling this way. I don't think she handles it very maturely, but also like I understand given the situation.
absolutely.
And
Definitely something that Peter should have brought up to her.
right. And this is this is like the point in time when she says when you kissed her, who was kissing her, Peter or Spider-Man? And this is when Peter does not react correctly. Because he's
Yeah.
just like, what do you mean? When he should be saying, oh no, this is Spider-Man. That's the point of this.
Yeah,
And
it's a really it's he's bad at communicating and it's hilarious to watch them, but it's funny to watch them like flounder around, but it's not good for a story.
yeah, it's like it's frustrating to watch because the whole time you're just saying to yourself, just say this, just say this, just say
Yeah.
this, just say this. But she ends up leaving upset. Um, and that's when like the musician walks by and starts playing the song. And it's like, oh man, she wouldn't have liked that either. So it's like really
It's also really funny because this entire time he's like waving his hand around, and every single time the guy thinks that that's the cue to bring over.
right, the drinks and the music.
I will say this scene is like super like it's trying to be serious, but there's so much comedy in it. It's hard to take it seriously.
Yeah, very tonally clashing.
All over the place.
Yeah, not very good for the scene itself.
He's just like it's just like the relationship's falling apart, and this fucking French dude's just like, "Oh, it's time! Come on, let's do the thing."
Oh, we about to create some magic. Oh,
I am French.
I am French.
So, like I can't tell if he's being sarcastic, if he's making like if he's actually French. Like I can't tell. This character's hilarious.
Yep, it's unfortunate he only has like 3 minutes of screen time.
I would have loved an entire movie where every like character's just coming to him.
Spider-Man
Like,
4, I am French. I'd watch it. Peter dies, and that guy has to take up the mantle.
Oh fuck! I was loving so much. It's like, did you know Spider-Man? He is French.
He's French now.
Oh wait.
I'm going to destroy you, you baguette. Insta comedy, just add water. Too easy. All right. So
scene?
what?
Is this the omelet scene? Already?
God, no! You're jumping way too far ahead. This movie,
sorry.
despite being like 10 minutes longer than the previous movie, this movie has like 4 times as many scenes.
It's True.
All right, let's start cranking through this. We're taking up way too much of our viewers' time. So Peter calls MJ. She doesn't pick up. He leaves a message. Right when he goes to hang up, she tries to answer the phone because she's like listening while he's recording the message. Immediately there's a call back, and the audience is like, "Hey, Mary Jane's calling back." And nope, it's the police station. They're calling him
Yep.
down to the police or the station. Aunt May's there. They're talking to Captain Stacy, Gwen's dad. We've met him. Yay. Uh, this is when I really don't like this because they have to fuck with the first movie.
Yep. They
But
basically like not cancel, but like they changed the first movie.
yeah, so the captain says we originally thought that the carjacker from the first movie killed your uncle, but now we know it's not true. It was this guy instead, and that he drops a picture of our Sandman, and
Yep. And that's when Tobey Maguire does
that's when Tobey Maguire has
for this movie at
his
least.
yeah. We get a little flashback of what Peter assumes happened. Or Sandman's just this terrible guy who kills his uncle. Uh, yeah, that's when he gets angry and like
Yes.
pops off. He's like, "Why weren't we told about this? This was years ago. This guy killed my uncle, and he's still out there. Why aren't you protecting us? Why aren't you doing your job?" I'd
Yeah.
say I'd say a bit irrational, but fair enough given the news he's just received. Plus, things aren't really going his
Absolutely.
way right now anyway, so you could be frustrated. Things are building up.
He's
So,
very mad. Yeah.
right, so that night he's just listening to the police scanner because he's on the hunt, and that's when Mary Jane shows up, and she's like, "I don't want to talk about last night. I just want to be here for you right now because Aunt May called and told me what happened."
Yeah.
And Peter very much just kind of brushes her off. He's like, "I appreciate it, but I don't need you right now." And she's just like, everyone needs help sometimes. But she leaves.
It's definitely yeah.
Yeah, it's like a almost tragic because she just wants to help now, but he's pushing her away.
And he's starting to sink into that disparity pit of edginess and angst.
Right? Very very dark turn, very vengeful mode.
Yeah.
And this is when our symbiote, which has been chilling in his room, he's having a nightmare.
For how long?
Few days now, it
How
seems like.
long in the movie are we? No, in movie time.
Oh, we're an hour in now,
And now the symbiote decides to do something.
right? So climbs up on him, covers him up while he's in his Spider-Man suit. Okay, this is why it's weird. Wait, my volume turned up. No, okay. Uh, you'll hear a little. Just give me a chance in the recording. Uh, let's see. So the symbiote, because we talked about the suit, it covers him while he's in his Spider-Man suit, and it's a bit weird because he gets all covered up while he's in his bed, but then the screen goes dark and he's like, "Where am I?" And then he's outside on a random building.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, you're up here now. Wait, what?
Right. But right away he notices like the black suit, but he's like, "Oh, this feels nice. This feels good." Then he
Yeah,
swings around, does some cheering. He's all happy. Then he takes a small sample of the symbiote to his professor, and the guy, the professor, kind of explains like, "Don't let this get on you, because in nature these things bind to a host, and they can be hard to unbind."
yeah,
He comes home. Conveniently, the police scanner is currently uh, announcing um, a robbery at a bank, a nearby sandstorm for some reason, and he's like, "Ah, here we go." And he goes, now he's got 2 suits. That's why it's weird, because the symbiote covered the other one, or the red suit. But either way, now he's got 2. So he like looks at the red suit, and then he kind of is like, no, and he opens a box and pulls out the black suit.
Yeah.
Let's
It's
see.
really weird because you assume it's that it covered the old suit, but no, it's just its own suit now.
Yeah, for some reason he's got 2 suits now, which I was thinking maybe he had 2 suits before, but we don't see that ever.
Yeah.
So odd. Not anything like game breaking, but I don't know. It's strange. Anyway,
Very strange, yeah.
he arrives at the bank to find some sand flowing into the storm drain. Eddie shows up and starts taking pictures.
And then since now Peter's mad, he's just like, nope, destroying your camera.
Right. And then Brock takes out like a little camera and takes a couple more pictures.
But like of nothing,
of just
literally
like
nothing, and it's just like a scene transition.
Right, of just like the crime scene. It's weird. I also love the idea. It's like when you're playing Call of Duty and you have like your main assault rifle, but you also have a sidearm. He just has a sidearm camera just ready to go just in case something terrible happens.
Basically.
Yeah. Is that a thing you people do, you journalists?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so. I never did that.
Maybe
like,
maybe that's
always
like
had the one camera.
Maybe that's the code of journalism ethics. Like you always got to have your backup just in case.
You know, I've never heard of that, but I was never a photographer for journalism, but I took photos.
Just a writer.
Yeah, I had it for a while where I was into taking photos of flowers for a while. That was my thing.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Anyway.
As for I don't think so.
Right. I didn't think so either, but I figured I'd check. A lot of crazy and or dumb things happen in this world. So let's see.
So he's in the sewer now, kind of. So you said he didn't come out and leave with the money, but he just robbed a bank and now he has money. Correct?
Yeah, now he's got 2 bags of money.
During the fight, he has bags of money.
Right, and that's kind of like his objective throughout. He like keeps looking at the bags of money.
Which, once again, it's just like this is just like the ring situation where there's something else in the fight to help give the fight tension.
Right.
And part of you kind of is cheering for the Sandman this fight. Like, not fully, but like I think the film wants us to be cheering for the Sandman, if that makes sense. Because we clearly see that like Peter Parker's gone a little crazy with the power he's been given.
Right, he's like a little bit over the top now, and it's kind of like,
and it's
sad when he
the Sandman is not aware.
Right, when he first gets wet and like starts falling apart.
Yeah, he's like, uh-oh.
Because he like falls into a puddle, and then after that, Spider-Man like sees and kind of realizes like, oh, I see.
Yeah, he's made of sand, and I'm a scientist. I should have known this ahead of time.
Right. And yeah, so he we get like a death scene where he's like up against the sewer grate. Well, I'm gonna call it a death scene. That's what I thought it was first time I saw this movie. And the water just washes the Sandman away.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he says, "Good riddance."
Yeah.
Really deep voice.
Yeah,
like
and then
Batman levels of.
Yeah, just Batman levels of voice changing. And then we see him walking down a dark alley, and he's like clearly angry, and then his hair, which has been, kind of kept clean the whole time, he just like pulls it down so it's in front of his face.
That's right. He just
edgy.
looks in the mirror and just like goes like that's what I do in the morning when I want to see how long my hair is. Jesus.
Yeah, like strange. Oh, and then we get now that Peter's evil, he starts using curse words. So he goes to his apartment and gives the "you'll get your rent when you fix this damn door" line.
Which is a great line. Great meme.
Good meme.
Could be.
Yep. And at that point, he seems to kind of realize that he's taking it a bit too far. Like he looks in the mirror, kind of sees himself, and then takes off the suit
Yeah.
and tosses it into the box. Let's see. Next scene is him telling Aunt May that Sandman was killed. And she's like, "Oh, who killed him?" And he's like, "Oh, Spider-Man did." And she's like, "That can't be right. Spider-Man doesn't kill people." And they have a little talk
Spider-Man
about
doesn't kill.
right, and they have a little talk about revenge and how it's probably not a very good thing. And that seems to calm him down, at least for a little bit. Uh, Next we get MJ walking out of the jazz club, and then the owner goes and takes down the sign that says singer slash waitress needed.
Yeah.
And then the next scene, which is
Obviously.
actually kind of nice, is just Mary Jane walking down the street full of other people, and she's just like ahead among the crowd. And it kind of, I guess it's symbolizing how she is now one with the people. She's your everyday person, no longer the shining star above them all.
Yeah. She really lost it.
Yep. And then she goes and sits on a park bench, and she goes to call Peter, but then she decides to call Harry instead.
Yeah. Now it's the omelet scene. Sorry.
Yeah.
Jesus, there's so much shit before the omelets.
Yeah, Harry's like in his room just painting, and he's got the talk with the butler where he's like, get out some food. We have a guest coming." And he's like, "A guest? Yeah, a guest. A guest? Guest? Dude, just get out
Yeah.
some food." It's like, I don't know. It's kind of funny, but I have no idea what's supposed to be happening. The
Yeah. It's just like, are
implication.
you implying like a girlfriend, or because he does say earlier, like earlier he does say like, do I
Oh,
have any girlfriends? And he goes like, I not that I know of, sir.
yeah.
So that could be it, but I really can't tell.
Yep. I guess.
Very sure.
Let's see. Peter has fixed his hair. Tries to call MJ. She doesn't pick up. He's got to
Yeah.
talk with the landlord. He's like, I'm sorry about the outburst earlier. He's like, "Oh, it's okay. If you feel bad, you can get me pizza sometime." And then he's got the, "If it's a woman you're trying to speak to, say, hey, you're a good woman. I'm a good man."
Oh yeah, it's this guy. That scene. That's right.
Yeah, quality. Then we get the omelet scene. Do you want to talk about the omelet
Yeah.
scene? I know you love it.
It's so dumb because like Mary Jane goes on to hit. Well, doesn't go on, but like she kind of initiates it by like dancing with him because they're dancing to the twist and doing the twist terribly.
What? She's a great dancer.
Not her, Harry. I'm saying.
Ah, yes.
Um, but like they're dancing, and then like Harry comes onto her, and then she goes, "No, I can't." And then like that's the scene.
Yeah, they're like, it's so bizarre. Because they're like having a nice
Like I
time.
get,
I,
yeah,
I'm going to say it. Boys and girls can be friends.
yeah,
It can happen. Yeah,
yeah, I can.
they can be friends with each
Oh
other
yeah.
without it
Also,
getting romantic.
by the way, after this scene, he recovers from his amnesia and remembers everything he forgot.
Oh, yeah. They
Like immediately after she leaves.
they like share a kiss. I'm watching the scene right now. I would say that Mary
Yeah,
Jane initiates, but it's hard to. Neither of them are stopping it. Yeah, and then
yeah.
she's
They're
like,
just
"Nope,
like,
this is bad. I gotta go," and she leaves. Harry resorts to drinking, looks at a picture of his dad, and then, yep, all the memories return.
so
So,
he's like, remember me.
yep, you've taken your eye off the ball. Truth is, we get to see Willem Dafoe again, so the scene is worth it. But anyway, next scene, Mary Jane is at home. Uh, there's a message playing from Peter, and he like feels bad about the other night. He's like, I know you're just trying to help, and I didn't.
Yeah.
I was a bad. And she's like gonna go calm back, but then Harry's there, and wow, he like grabs her by the neck and shoves her into a wall, and this brick wall like shatters a little bit. This is intense.
Yeah.
All right, and he says, if you want Peter to live, you're gonna have to do something for me. Let's see.
Yeah. And that thing, of course, as anybody knows, is break up with
Peter.
Peter. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Cute neighbor girl comes over and says Mary Jane called. He or is calling. She wants to meet in the park. He brings her some flowers. Um, he says that, or she says that they need to break up. It's not working. He shows her the ring. I think Tobey Maguire's acting is a little bit over the top in this scene, but props for
Yep.
trying. She says she has fallen in love with someone else and runs away. Harry's there, like off in the distance, and she walks past him, and Harry's just like, "Hey, bravo." Let me see. Next scene is Peter and Harry talking in a cafe.
Mm-hmm. And this is the scene where he's just like, this is the scene where he's like, I'm the other dude.
Yeah.
Knowing full well that she or that he is Spider-Man, and is going like, no, I'm the other dude. I'm it's just so dumb. I don't get what his plan was, because he clearly is not smart enough to out intelligent him or outsmart him, and he's not strong enough to to overwhelm him. But like, his plan just doesn't make sense.
I think I've been thinking about this a lot since you said that the first time.
Yeah.
For one, Harry doesn't know that Spider-Man has black suit. So maybe
True.
he doesn't think that he will actually attempt revenge. Maybe he just wants to break his spirit.
But at the same time, he's still Spider-Man. He'll just go to your house and go like, hey, what the fuck, dude? And then beat you up.
I don't think that's a safe assumption.
I guess you're right.
Because Peter's a pretty good guy most of the time. Yeah, when he is good Spider-Man. Not really one to seek retribution. It's like you could describe it as really unfortunate that the black suit happened to happen at the same time as Harry's revenge.
Yeah.
But
very unfortunate.
Yeah. And
I guess it makes sense, but it's still really weird of a fight or a setup even then.
And I think that
means all he's doing then is because that means all that he's doing in that scene then is just emotionally destroying him, and he always comes back from that type of behavior. Like
the only thing he's doing is emotionally destroying him. Cole.
What?
That's a good hit.
I mean, yeah, but like he always
people have lost a lot more for much less. I mean, he's still alive, but
he's still alive. He still has a good job. He still has the Spider-Man gig. He just doesn't have the girl anymore.
He's hardly even got the job, and he loves this girl. He's loved this girl forever. I think
or why.
I think it's worth it. Love is complicated. I think it's No, I disagree. I think emotionally destroying him is a major hit. And well, I guess it's not really safe for me to make the argument that he doesn't think he'll seek retribution, because then he's prepared. But that, I think, can help my argument anyway, because he very much has his place prepared to fight Spider-Man. Whereas before, he ambushed Spider-Man, but Spider-Man was very much in his own home turf, like out in the open where he can web buildings and maneuver.
This is much more hand-on-hand combat.
Right. This is Yeah,
even though it's
hand on
clear that
hand,
like.
and Harry has access to all of his equipment because it's right there.
But also, I want to point out Harry doesn't seem like he's doing very well in the fight, anyways. Because during the fight, he's like struggling to keep up, well, not keep up, but just like land hits. Like he's not exactly have the fighting style. He's just kind of throwing his arms out all over the place.
Um, I don't think his fighting style is fantastic, but it's definitely one-sided. Like Peter takes a lot of
Yeah,
punches to the face and then just shakes them off.
yeah,
Whereas when Harry gets hit, it seems to leave an impact.
absolutely. Which is very strange because like we've seen from the serum that he had taken is the same serum his dad took, and his dad was able to take a few hits of Spider-Man pretty well.
Right? No, his dad only got beat down at the end. I
Yeah,
mean, I guess it's not. Eh, I mean,
it's just strange.
Harry,
It's just a strange plan to me.
Harry's not,
It's the
mediocre,
sharpest tool in the shed.
right?
Yeah.
But I think it's reasonable enough to assume that he would think that he could win this fight on his turf with his equipment against a now
Yes.
emotionally distraught Peter.
Which, by the way, you would. Yes, you're right. He should win this fight.
Which is, it's
Anyways, he
unfortunate
loses the
that
fight.
he is a dark version now that is fueled by vengeance instead of crippled by depression.
Yeah, literally, what you did was you just made him stronger.
Right? It's like the Sith Lord
You
thing.
literally-
Like your anger is supposed to
yeah,
make you stronger, so if you piss off all the Sith Lords, like I don't
yeah.
know. But yeah,
Piss off the Sith
P-
Lords.
Peter shows up, black suit and emo goth hair.
Not only, yeah. Oh, you just reminded me. Sorry of that Twitter account I showed you the other day. I told you about the other day. The one with the Joker profile. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
The Sith. Literally, in his description, he even writes down Dark Lord of the Sith. I
Oh yeah.
see the world as it is, and it ain't pretty.
Fair
What a fucking
enough.
character. What a character.
Yep. Also, I want to share
Uh,
the
yeah.
goblin grenades have lost a lot of power throughout the
Yeah.
movies because the first time we see them, it disintegrates the flesh and blood of 3 people. And in this fight scene, Harry face tanks one and he just gets scarred.
Yeah. In the first movie, it's just like, look at this explosion.
Right? It's like a flash that just disintegrates these guys. And then this movie, the fight ends on Peter throwing a grenade back at Harry, and it just like blinds him in one eye and scars up his face.
Yeah. Very. Hold on a second.
So now,
Back to the view. Hi, welcome back. Welcome back.
welcome back. So now Peter's walking down the street. Sees a picture, newspaper, of a thief, and it's
Another
got
one.
a picture of the Black Spider-Man with a bag full of the monies.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, photo taken
And
by Eddie.
Eddie Brock.
Yep.
And Eddie Brock's just like, yep, I did it on my own. And Peter Parker's just like, you are phony.
Right. Peter shows up, like slams him
then,
against the wall, and he's like, "These pictures
pretty
are fake."
powerfully, by the way.
Yeah, definitely. I would yeah, he's taking it way over the top. And he's also quite harsh with his words, like no mercy, like just laying into him. Like, I'm about to destroy you. And so he has evidence that the photos were faked because Eddie got the staff job, right? Because of bringing the
Yeah.
right photos. So Peter's got evidence that the photos are faked and delivers them to Jameson. And sure enough, Brock gets fired. Jameson is pissed.
Yeah, you don't want to piss off James.
Nope. The next scene is it's the freaking cookies, man. He's on the phone
Oh, yeah,
with.
this is a scene where we learn as an audience how the symbiote works. But yeah, the symbiote works.
Yeah, this is like our in-universe explanation. It amplifies some characteristics, especially aggression. Meanwhile, a cute neighbor girl
Oh,
is feeding Peter
Peter.
cookies.
And,
Uh,
and he just goes, he says the line, can you have some with nuts? Can you make some with nuts in them?
I can make some. Go make me some.
Which, it's kind of a dick move. She made you just stuff and he's still asking for more. He's very, very, very consuming.
Yeah, very. It's like, wow. Okay, all right. Feeling pretty full of
Kind of a dick.
himself. He goes
And this is
to
the part where he asks for the job, right? The staff
yeah.
job,
He
too.
goes to Jameson. He's got a bunch of great photos of black suited Spider-Man just trashing criminals. And they're like, we'll pay your usual rate. And he's like, I want double the rate and the staff job.
And he sits on Jonas Jonas' desk, right?
That's his desk
In
now.
his
He's got
chair.
the staff job. This is his office.
Oh, that's right. He
Yep.
sits. Oh, yeah. And then you want to
He's
point out the background
yeah,
element?
he's got his feet up, and like J. Jonah
Yeah.
Jameson is just disgusted, and then in the background, the freaking secretary girl is like, "Oh my god."
Like she's like biting her bottom lip, like, whoa, what a man.
She's like, her mouth is just
Which is weird
gaping.
because some of the female characters are like somehow turned on to this, and other ones are like absolutely disgusted.
Yeah, it's very
It's very strange.
it. I guess the issue. Uh, I'm not sure what the movie's trying to tell me. I don't know if he is embarrassing himself and he doesn't care, or if he's like actually supposed to be cool and impressive, because we're getting mixed reactions from people, which I guess will always be the case whenever you do anything, but I'm not totally looking for that realism. I just want to know what the movie is supposed to be portraying right now.
Am I supposed to feel embarrassed? Am I supposed to feel excited? What's happening?
Right?
But it doesn't matter because you get the best scene in the world, James.
Right. Yeah. Peter
The
strutting and dancing.
Yeah, Peter strutting, dancing, just being an absolute d bag.
You all know the memes.
Yeah, we all know
Let's
the memes. I don't think we really need to talk about this interactions or scenes for long because it's just a build up to Mary Jane feeling shitty about it
Yep.
because she's in this movie too.
Yep. We'll see her again soon. But you all know
Yeah,
that you all know the scene's hard to watch. Let's see. Next we have Sandman's resurrection.
yep,
Still got the locket, still motivated, more angry with Spider-Man than ever. Then we get
yeah.
the next best scene in the movie, which is Gwen and
The
Peter
jazz
going to
club.
the jazz club. Yep. Eddie happens to be on the street and sees Peter now with his girl. Um, bribes the
To go to the
hostess
jazz club
for a seat. Yep, at the jazz club. Mary Jane's about to sing a song. Peter happens.
to just fucking take over and play the piano.
Yep, does
Which I believe
suggests.
because remember there's a throwaway line in the second movie where Aunt May says that she's teaching piano lessons, so I can believe he knows how to play piano.
Oh my gosh, I didn't catch that before.
I can't tell if that's sarcasm or
No, I didn't. That's big brain.
yeah.
I wonder if the movie knows that
Me,
it is big brained.
or maybe it's just me projecting.
Oh, that's just
Trying
the
to.
thing with like movies that aren't great when they like nail subtle references like that. I'm always like, oh, I wonder if they know that they did that.
Yeah, she says I'm teaching piano again, and he goes like, "You're teaching piano again?"
It's like in the new Star Wars trilogy when there's a good scene. I'm just like, I wonder if they did this on purpose, or if they like accidentally made a good scene.
If there's like one editor going like, "I can see it work. I can do it. I promise."
Yeah, freaking. Uh, anyway, back to better
Anyways,
movies.
so yeah, so he
He
like dances, he
there's a
causes Gwen
nice.
to appear and make Gwen Stacy's hair fly back.
Oh yeah, he takes off his jacket so quickly that it creates a breeze. He has a
Is that what's
very
happening? I thought they just like added wind to her.
nah, dude. He took off the jacket so quickly it blows her hair back. He engages in a very suggestive dance with her in front of Mary Jane. at the end of the song, Gwen kind of figures out what has happened, and she says sorry to Mary Jane and leaves.
Yeah.
Peter and her have a conversation. It's
And I think
very
then he's
hostile, but cut short by the owner kind of getting in the way, and then tells the bouncer to take him out. And of course, the bouncer can't stand up to Spider-Man. And in this little kerfuffle, he ends up slapping Mary Jane down, and that is like quite the eye opener for him. And then like he realizes like the top button of his shirt is undone, and you can see the black Spider-Man suit underneath, so he like covers it up and runs away. And this is like his like coming to realize like, oh, I have not been a good person moment.
and that's when he removes the suit
Right. So
from a
then
church bell.
he's on top of a church. Eddie shows up at the church, potentially because Peter told him in the last scene to find religion.
Yeah.
Eddie
Funny scene,
asks,
but
right? Eddie asks Jesus to kill Peter Parker. I would like to think that Jesus was chilling and he's like, holy crap, no one's asked me to do this in forever.
all right, I'll get right on it.
Yeah, he's like, dang, I don't get to do this ever. Everyone's always like, oh, make my hunger go away.
Get
But
rid of
then,
all those gays.
pray the gays away. So then in the next scene, we got Peter ripping off the black Spider-Man suit. And this is when we see he like bumps into the bell, and when it rings, it like makes the suit panic, I guess you could say.
Yeah. So this is explained in the comics, but the way to defeat Venom through either extreme heat or with sound.
Gotcha.
Sound causes it to like detach from its host.
Right. Oh, it's your favorite scene, the one where he opens the door by opening both doors with one hand.
Opening the doors with both hands, and then the
Yeah.
door is now
The like
facing the other way.
double door. Yeah.
Yeah, he pushes the door, and then when it cuts back to him, the doors are now the opposite direction.
Quality.
It's
Let's
so
see.
dumb. But like he says that, and that's when Peter Parker, and then Eddie Brock suddenly gets it.
You cut out. He notices Peter, and then what?
Then the symbiote like lands on him.
Yeah. Starts falling on him. It
Yeah,
I said this last time, but like a single piece falls off, lands on his jacket, and Eddie like freaks out and takes off the jacket and throws it. But then he continues to
yeah.
stand in the splash zone,
Instead of like away from it.
right? Instead of running away or moving away. But anyway, the
Yeah.
whole symbiote falls off, comes off of Peter, and then attaches to Eddie, and boom, third villain. An hour
Third villain in what
and an hour and 44 minutes in.
in this 2-hour movie.
Yep. Peter takes a shower. I thought it was to get off any remaining symbiote, but and to be reborn as a good man
A
again.
third day and whatnot.
Yeah.
Well, I was also going to point out.
Apparently,
the
he
other
also
thing,
had hair dye. So
yeah, the other thing we want to point out was that like his hair is like turning back to brown. But also, I want to just say that the Venom birth scene was like probably a really cool sequence, like altogether.
I think it looks very cool.
Like it looks very cool, yeah. And with how they didn't really touch on religion, but I was gonna say it's very funny that like the thing to get rid of the satanic being or this like otherworldly beings with the power of the Lord.
Yeah.
Basically. If you guys want a virtue signal, there you go.
That's not a virtue signal, I don't think.
It's talking about how great religion is.
I don't think the
Yeah.
people who virtue signal like religion. Too much praying away gay and such.
Probably.
Unless you're virtue signaling for another religion. Like one that
Yeah,
likes
that's what
to
I'm saying.
rape little girls or beat your wife.
Stop talking about the Smash community. Let's talk about the movie.
Yay! What? Smash Community hasn't beat their wives. They don't have any.
Oh, that's right.
Now the children doing, however.
Yeah. Anyways, let's finish this movie up. We're almost there.
We're almost there.
Yeah.
Peter gets to have a talk with Aunt May. She comes over to his apartment, and he kind of says like, "Oh, I hurt Mary Jane. I'm not ready." And Aunt May kind of gives him back confidence a bit. She's like, "I know you're a good man. You know, if you made a mistake, you'll make it right." And he tries to give her back the ring, but then she leaves it there. Sandman is looking for Spider-Man, and Venom is looking for Sandman, and they happen to run into each other, and they forge themselves an alliance. Peter walks by MJ's apartment, looks up. She's doing whatever, and then he leaves, and then she looks back down. You know. Then she leaves. We're not really sure where she's going.
Yeah, they like miss each other's. Sorry, they miss each other's viewpoints. It's just like, wow, crazy. How did that happen?
Yeah. She goes and gets in a cab. The cab has Eddie. Little jump scare of her grabbing her mouth, and then it cuts to the newscast. Venom and Sandman hostage. You know, Mary Jane once again in a car up in a web. They're challenging Spider-Man to a 2v1. Spider-Man goes to talk to Peter, or Jesus, goes to talk to Harry.
He talks to himself. He has like an inner monologue.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he goes to talk to Harry.
Yep, Harry is rightfully quite angry about their fight. Says that he doesn't deserve, Spider-Man doesn't deserve his help, and tells him to leave. This is our scene where our butler is in the lab with Harry, and this is when he spills the beans. I analyzed his wound, your father's wound, and it came from his glider, and therefore, if he died, it was his own. It was due to himself. He died by his own hand.
2 movies later.
Right.
2 movies later, he's like, "Oh, by the way, this is how your father."
Yeah, very strange.
Absolutely.
And I think if I was so in denial, like so sure that Spider-Man killed my father, I think I would reason to myself, oh, surely he used the glider to kill him.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not just like, oh, my father must have killed himself.
Yeah. So it's very it's shaky. It's rough. But
they just need an excuse to make him a better person so he can die.
But we need to get our character to his final boss fight, so yep, Spider-Man shows up. It's real dramatic. Is trying to fight off Venom and Sandman, and he is failing quite miserably.
He is not able to handle.
Yep. He is not doing the 2v1. I said earlier, but Venom is very good at the web slinging and the web combat, that he is like during most of this fight outskilling Peter, despite Peter having done this for years now, and Venom acquiring the power yesterday.
Yeah.
And that's being generous, if it was earlier that day. I'm looking to see if anything really plot relevant happens during this fight. That's not the way I want to word that.
I mean, there's nothing really. I mean, it's a fight scene, and like,
right, they're fighting.
There's like,
Spider-Man is very much defeated, and then Harry shows up and saves him, and the 2v2 commences. We get the scene with J. Jonah Jameson and the little girl,
which is also great.
Yep.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, like the fight happens, they win, and
yeah, Harry defeats Sandman.
Yeah.
Uh, Venom goes to skewer Spider-Man, but Harry gets in the way and gets
Like
skewered
front legs.
himself. Yeah. He does say earlier in the movie when he's talking to the nurse at the hospital that my best friends, I'd give my life for them. So that's kind of a payoff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right.
Yep.
I forgot about that scene, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a short one, just a little thing.
Yeah.
Spider-Man remembers the ringing of the bell
The
and how
kerfuffle.
that knocked the symbiote off of him, and so he uses the metal piping to do the same for Eddie. Then he goes to destroy the symbiote, but Eddie jumps into it to try to save it,
And
I
kills him.
guess. Yep, and they both die to a grenade.
Yeah, I think he was trying to like. No, yeah, I have no fucking idea why he just threw himself.
I think it's one of those things where it's like he cares about the symbiote because it made him powerful, made him feel good,
Yeah.
and now that its life
Yeah.
is in danger, he like wants to help it, but he didn't put any thought into it before acting at all. So it's very
It's like a fight or flight reaction he sort of had.
right.
Where
But
his immediate thought was, I
it
better
would have been
save
a
this
very
now.
hard fight.
Honestly, because the other thing that kills the symbiote, guess what? Explosions.
Yep.
Any like
And it
increased
seems to be
heat and
very effective on Brock too.
the
So
symbiote. Yeah, I mean he's human, so.
yeah.
But it doesn't do anything like turn him into a skeleton. Well, no, it did turn him into a skeleton for like a few seconds, right?
Yeah. But for the most part, it just vaporizes everything. Like I said, grenade
Yep.
power, very subjective.
It's all over the place.
Yep. Mary Jane goes to help Harry, and she's like, "I'll go help," and he's like, "No, stay."
He
Spider-Man,
just wants to fucking die.
right? Which if I was in this movie, maybe so. Um, Spider-Man and Sandman get to have their discussion, and
Which is really dumb.
yeah, it's I don't think you want to mess up the Ben Parker thing from the first movie. I think it was just executed so well. Like it's
Yep,
unfortunate
and
that
then
you
this
have
one,
it not nearly as well. It's unfortunate that you have to give up that to have this.
yeah, and it doesn't even do anything because all it is like I accidentally shot your father.
Right? And it's kind of the same thing again,
And,
where it's like my motivation is still my daughter. That is it. I
yeah,
need money
it's
for my
still like
daughter.
I need money for my dog, but then like he
Right.
just pieces out and that's it. That's it. Like he's just gone.
Right. Peter says he forgives him, and then he pieces out.
Yep.
Wonder if he would have had an effect on the fourth movie.
I probably maybe I don't. I guess
Probably.
we'll never know.
Yeah.
I would assume he'd come back,
Yeah, probably.
but not as a villain per se. Probably more of like a
No.
side character.
Yeah, maybe like Harry in this one, where he's like a
Yeah.
helper. Um,
But I think that's about like it for the movie because like then it's a funeral and then that's the movie.
yeah, Peter and MJ give their goodbyes to Harry, and then there's the funeral. Um, Mary Jane is still singing at her jazz club. Peter shows up.
Yeah. And
They
she
are.
specifically says, "I will never fall in love again," and then she does.
Wait, there was a particular line in that song. I think she says like
Yeah.
after
On the.
this or something.
Oh, that's
So this is their end game.
yeah.
And yep, then the movie ends.
Yeah. Yep. So we were very brief and didn't talk about MJ a lot because honestly, there was already enough going on. But
We hit
this
her.
movie is definitely a movie.
We kind of hit like the main plot points with her, but
Yeah, but there's a lot more.
yeah, just like after she breaks up with him, maybe try to find a way to communicate, like, "Hey, I'm being blackmailed," or like
Yeah,
something along those lines.
anything along those lines.
Yeah. But
But
yeah,
overall,
any
still, the one thing I will say about these 3 movies is they're all enjoyable, and I still enjoyed watching all 3.
yeah, I liked them a lot. Like you said, these are like the first of the like really successful superhero movies.
Yeah, and I think the third one really shows what happens when a studio tries to meddle in with an artistic viewpoint.
Yeah, as if we hadn't seen enough of
'Cause
that.
there's
Like The
Yeah, but
Hobbit
this is
and
like
this
the
are like prime examples.
absolutely. So unfortunate, but that's just how it is sometimes, and it should be that way. But with that all being said, James, what would you give this movie
Um,
on your Screaming Girl analysis?
what did I give the first one?
Dude, I don't remember. We recorded Tuesday
One less screaming girl than the first one.
from. I'm gonna give it solid 15 minutes of extra footage that wasn't needed. So
I actually have a version where it like
yeah,
cuts out of like the omelet scene and
yes,
the Gwen Stacy dancing with Peter scene.
perfect. That's exactly what I want.
Yeah, a better version, truly.
Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, this was a mistake.
Well, a lot of mistakes made here. The movies are
Yeah,
us.
but we uh, anyways, do we have we have a decision on what we're doing, right?
You cut out.
We have a decision on what we're doing next, right?
No, we haven't made a final decision yet, but we got some options.
Well, we have some options. So tune in next time for our decision.
Yep.
So anything else you want to say, James, before we end the episode?
I don't think so. Well, like we said at the beginning, if you haven't seen them, you give them a watch. They're good fun.
Yeah,
And
watch it with some friends.
yeah, then I think the second one really holds
Yeah,
up well.
yeah, absolutely.
It is a
Start
legitimately
drinking
good
on the third
movie.
one. Start drinking on the third one.
Oh, you could have some drinks with the first one. The first one's fun.
Yeah. Drink every time there's a jump scare.
Yep.
So, until next
All
time,
right.
guys.
It's been a pleasure. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.